Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Na'Vi versus OG in the Epic League Game 2 of the lower brackets. So it's a do or die situation now for Na'Vi. They've really got to perform very, well, just really good at the moment to try and take a game off of OG and force it to a third match. Otherwise, they will just be figuratively going home empty-handed. So we'll see if maybe they're going to go for a slightly different strategy, or they just had a little calm down, you know, just had a little bit of a mental reset. Don't fall into the same sort of traps as that previous game. Maybe they might be able to take this one. But OG are going for exactly the same opener as the previous match, taking that IO, and we've got the same bug. Gaben, what's wrong with your game? Fix your game, man. Come on. Okay, so we've got another invisible Na'Vi team, but they have gone for the Lina grab. Obviously, in the first game, they went for the Sven and then the Lina. But that has now given the opportunity for the Sven to fall into the hands of OG. So that'll be the mid-ones hero. And it's actually the Lifestealer grab then for the side of Na'Vi. So Lifestealer always able to dodge the Stormhammer stun that comes out from the Sven. So sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for the Sven to try and get on top of the Lifestealer and effectively bring him down. But obviously, you know, that magic community that the Lifestealer has isn't permanent. So it does have to drop eventually, and that will be the opportunity for the side of OG to try and lock him down and burst him as quickly as they possibly can. We'll have to see what else both these teams pick up to try and maybe either, you know, help the Lifestealer survive or try and kill him. We'll see what the grabs are. As far as bans as well for that first phase, it was exactly the same as the previous match. OG actually taking away the Shadow Demon this time. Maybe potentially thinking that it could come out in the hands of Roger. So make sure that possibly doesn't come about. But once again, Enigma ban coming out from Na'Vi. Making sure Seb doesn't get that hero. It is one of his favourites. Loves just hanging back and waiting for those big black hole moments. And as I've said many times in other matches, sometimes the threat of the black hole is, you know, better than the actual black hole itself. And that is the case like 9 out of 10 times in all honesty. But even still, Na'Vi, they just make sure they don't go up against that matchup. So we'll probably see them focus their next two bans towards Seb once again, as they did in the previous match. Takes away his Beastmaster. There's still the Magnus in the pool. And if OG's got a core Sven, I imagine they would probably get rid of that. They would be quite scary to deal with. Obviously, if the Magnus is a core player, you tend to be able to get, you know, obviously a bit more farm, so you can try and go for those better RP plays rather than having a position 5 Magnus where, you know, any RP is a decent RP, even if you just catch one hero. But if you're a core, you're going to be looking for those big 2, 3, 4-man RPs. And if it's a Sven, it's real scary to deal with. So see, maybe Na'Vi are going to ban that out. Well, they do have the first pick though, in this next phase. They could potentially grab it themselves and then be able to ramp up the farmer's speed of the Lifestealer to try and match the pace that the Sven will be setting. It would work out quite nicely, seeing as how the Lifestealer is a hero which really doesn't like building Battle Furies or a Hand of Midas. He can, but you'd much rather get like your Armlet and into a Desolator, something like that, to try and make your hero hit its timings more effectively and become quite scary, a scary hero for the other side to actually deal with. So Magnus would solve that problem. It'd give him bonus farming speed, whilst also allowing him to go for the higher profile items. So see if maybe that's their plan. And then obviously the Lina will go into the hands of Roger again for the position 4 role. So Na'Vi take away the Timbersaw. A hero which does quite nicely against the Lifestealer. Not just late in phase, but also later on to the game, just those reactive armor stacks just make it so difficult for the Lifestealer to really effectively burst down the Timber. Needs a lot of assistance from the rest of the team to try and take that hero down. So they just make sure they're not going to run into that problem. Takes it away. So what sort of heroes are left for Seb to potentially take for the offlane? I mean, I think if Na'Vi don't take the Magnus right now, I think OG will take it, in all honesty. I don't see why this hero would not be grabbed this game or banned. It just makes perfect sense. It fits into either lineup at the moment. Oh, so actually going to grab the Undying now. So, taking that position 5 again, like they had in the previous game. Obviously, it didn't pan out too well for them in that last one, but, you know, it's probably not the hero's fault. They did pretty well in the laning phase. VTune was very dominant and at the top of that CS chart for a very, very long time. Well, it was just the power of the Ursa that won in the end. So we'll see what OG are going to grab for their third hero. It must be the Magnus. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be the Magnus. I'm not being dumb, right? It's not banned. No, it's not banned. Plus, it's a Magic Community piercing disable, which is perfect against the Lifestealer. Okay. Oh, it's actually going to be a Shadow Shaman. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Is this going to be a No-Tail Shadow Shaman, or is it going to be a Saxa Shadow Shaman? I imagine it'd probably be Saxa on the Shadow Shaman, wouldn't it? And then No-Tail be taking the IOs to position 5 again, rolling with the Sven this time? Makes more sense to me. But it's actually the Mars grab up then for Na'Vi is their 4th hero, so choosing not to bother going for that Magnus. Also a very favoured hero for General. Loves rolling with the Mars quite a lot. Especially as he's going to be paired up with the Lina. Going to have that double stun set up into a lot of damage and right clicks coming out. So even though the Sven will probably be able to survive the combos, he's going to have the healing sustain coming out with the IO pairing. But if No-Tail's the one who ends up getting caught out by this combo, he's probably going to end up getting deleted as the IO is relatively squishy. Despite being a strength hero, of course. You know, I mean, I'm saying this is No-Tail IO. I'm pretty sure this is going to be No-Tail IO, but you tend to see Shadow Shamans as more of a 5-ish role. So we'll see what Saxa is able to do with it as the position 4, going for a slightly greedier build perhaps. Get those Aether lenses online, go for them super long range shackles. Really annoying to deal with. But, you know, it's no Magic Community Pierce and Disable, and it's a little bit difficult to try and go up against the Lifestealer. It can be a brutal pairing. But would you actually go for the Pugna pickup now? So is this going to be Topson Pugna for the mid lane? Makes the most sense. Unless this is going to be some crazy OG magic and this is going to be a Topson Shadow Shaman. And then Saxa takes the Pugna as a 4. Then you've got the super healing combo of the life drain onto the IO, boosted his HP, and then that regen just gets transferred onto the Sven. And then at that point the Sven is just immortal. So we could see that potentially come out the side of OG. Although it's just most likely that this is going to be a Pugna mid. Makes the most sense. I'm still so surprised that it wasn't the Magnus pickup for the side of OG. But it's looking like it's still their offlane to pick up for Seb. So if it somehow doesn't get banned in this next phase, I expect it to be really picked up now. I'm quite surprised that Na'Vi didn't jump on the Doom pick as well. Normally the Doom always gets like first phase banned up against Na'Vi because Iceberg just loves rolling this hero in the mid lane and he does it very well. But they've not really prioritized it that much in this series. Both times OG have banned it in the final phase. Just to make sure it doesn't come out on Na'Vi, but I would have thought if they wanted to grab it, they probably would have picked it a little bit sooner. Maybe Na'Vi just weaned their way off that hero now. Maybe they don't think it's been that effective lately. Despite the fact of how well Iceberg actually plays it. Who knows? Who knows? So now they're using up quite a chunk of their reserve time. Finally going to take away the Centaur as the final ban. I still think this should be Magnus. Like, I really think this should be Magnus coming out now for Seb. I mean, it gives you a frontliner, a little bit tankier, gives you that Magic Community Pierce and Disable, increases the AoE damage of the Sven even more, whilst also grouping up a load of heroes to easily set up for like a Stormhammer stun set up into all the right clicks with the God Strength activated. Yeah, it really makes sense to me. They've only got 20 seconds to work with, so we'll see what it is they're going to go for. It's actually going to be the Tidehunter. Okay. So not bothering over the Magnus, but you've still got that nice AoE teamfight ultimate. So just try and lock everyone down. Obviously, it's not Magic Immune Piercing though, so you'd expect V-Tune to still be able to run around in these fights and do a lot of work. So what heroes Na'Vi grab for their mid laner then? I mean, they got plenty of frontliners. It could potentially go for like the Invoker maybe. Invoker could possibly work to go up against mid against the Pugna. Oh, they actually go for the Kunkka. So this is like massive frontline for the side of Na'Vi right now. Kunkka, Mars, Lifestealer, and Undying. It's this big wall of meaty strength heroes that is going to be quite difficult for the side of OG to bring down. Roger's just going to feel like pretty safe to sat behind all these people. Making a big friendly wall for him. So we see if OG is actually going to have enough damage to go through this heavy strength lineup coming out from the side of Na'Vi right now. We'll see what sort of build Topson's going to go to try and assist that damage output as much as he can. Doesn't want to put too much weight on mid one's shoulders. Got to help him out a little bit. I mean, look at these lineups. I quite like the team fight coming out from Na'Vi. The Mars Arena is just going to trap everyone in and set up for easy boats coming out from the Kunkka. But obviously that's not going to last forever. There's going to be some BKBs coming out from the side of OG, so they're going to be able to dodge that combo at least. But even still, if they get a few early fights on the go, I think Na'Vi should be able to come out ahead in a lot of those situations, despite the fact that OG has the Ravage to work with coming out from the Tidehunter. I think it's quite dependent on how this mid lane ends up going, if Iceberg just gets trashed or not, or if he does quite well and manages to punish Topson quite a lot. We'll have to wait and see how it actually ends up going down. But either way, I think I am just slightly favouring Na'Vi for this game. So we'll see what this position for Shadow Shaman is going to be like as well. It's not something you see come out very often at all. We're going to go for exactly the same wall placement as the previous game. Try and spot any sort of pool movements, as well as maybe spotting a curry or two walking by. There's actually a ward from Always Want to Fly down on the higher ground, so maybe they spot it out. But Topson's rotate around, maybe trying to make a move onto Always Want to Fly, but they didn't actually get there in time. So he will just be able to slowly shuffle his way out of there. But N0tail's keeping chase, doing quite a bit of damage. Oh no, but N0tail's courier, how did he die? V-Tune just got a free kill onto a courier. What the hell was the courier doing there at this point in the game? Why didn't N0tail just have that salve on him already? Why is it there? I don't know. It's not exactly like that's going to impact the game that greatly. You know, it's a very start, so the courier respawn times are very short, and he's not exactly like he's going to need that salve anytime soon. But even still, 25 gold each for every player. Ooh, that's some big money. I mean, it's not. It's hardly anything at all. But even still, it's like half a bounty rune. So even though it ends up being 2 for 2, Na'Vi just that tiny bit ahead, you know? A tiny, tiny bit. Every little helps.
We'll turn this tide to our advantage.
So the threat of the Mars-Lina combo is always a scary thing to go up against. Obviously, as I was saying, mid one, he should be able to survive it each time, as long as if N0tail's there to lend the assistance. But if it's N0tail who gets caught by this combo, I don't think there's really going to be that much to save him, and he'll probably end up dropping down either way. N0tail there, positioned himself perfectly to just immediately kill that sentry ward from Roger to make sure that that pool camp is still blocked. And that's just going to force Roger to waste money on getting another Sentry Ward out. Down bot, Seb's probably going to be suffering quite a while for the first early levels. There's always one of Fly's going to be able to solo zone him out. And it's just going to give plenty of free farm for VTune to just keep working his way up in this game. And it always hurts as well when you're a strength hero getting hit by this decay, because obviously it doesn't just reduce your maximum HP, it also reduces your right-click damage as well. I mean, he's only hitting for 44, now 40. Half the damage of the Undying now. And look at that, just he's solo. Always Wanna Fly is a solo, and he's able to zone out 2 heroes. This is the real scary thing about an Undying at this point in the game. Level 1 decay broken. Oh, even gets a little double decay there. Very nice efficiency plays. Look at this. This is nothing that Soxer and Seb can do to zone him out. This is just like the freest little start for an Undying ever. I'm actually going to try to apply a little bit of pressure there with the Gush, but again, another double decay comes up with one Fly. He could just turn around and hit Soxer, to be honest. He'd probably blow him up with these auto attack damages. Meanwhile, though, it is actually a thing you got to note. Shadow Shaman is one of the very high damaging right-click supports in the game, hitting for a natural 74. That is quite a lot, especially for a support. Scary thing to go up against, to be honest. It does catch a lot of people out. You know, expect this is a very squishy hero, so he probably not do much damage. But now Seb, though, he's getting gone up with the open wounds plus the soul rip there, doing quite a chunk of damage. Not quite enough to bring him down. Oh, he goes for the salve, but he gets immediately countered there. Boys Want to Fly. Lovely little use of the decay there. But even still, Na'Vi just both load themselves. Neither one having any healing salves or regen available. Always Want to Fly. He actually just got healing salve delivered, so he's probably going to hand that over to VTune, as a good support does. Sacrificing his own game for the good of his carry. He'll probably just go deny himself to some creeps, I imagine, at some point. Makes the most sense. How's this matchup in the mid going? Just slightly favouring Thompson, but apart from that, it's very even between the two. And that is the annoying thing going up against a Pugner. That decay, level 1 has exactly the same duration. He's even put 2 points into it, but the duration is always 3.5 seconds, so it's always difficult to try and snag those crucial last hits or denies going up against a Pugner. But General's now level 3. Roger, nearly level 3 himself, only needs one more creep, so we'll probably see them try and make a move onto No-Tail once they hit that little power spike. It seems like creeps. Ooh, actually one more creep. Now Roger's level 3. No-Tail's going to have to be a little bit cautious now. I could just spear him onto the tower if he gets in the right spot. Actually not going to go for it that close onto the tier 1. Find a little bit of respect there for No-Tail. Don't want to punish him too much. VTune's Curry even gets sniped there by Soxer in the backlines. Ooh, meanwhile up top though, No-Tail's trying to apply a lot of pressure onto Roger, just chasing him down. Even now in range with Stormhammer there from mid 1. The spear comes out trying to stop him. The LSA even there from Roger actually connects onto No-Tail, so that gives enough space for Roger to get out of there just in time. Making sure that the first blood doesn't fall over to OG. It was very close there, very dicey, and he's actually forced to go all the way back to base just before the 5-minute mark. So No-Tail should be able to secure that top bounty as soon as he's able to get the other ones. Oh, meanwhile down bottom though, Soxer actually ends up dropping to Always Want to Fly and VTune. So that is the first blood claimed for the side of Na'Vi. Also, you know, going into the Lifestealer's hands as well. A lovely little bonus there for him. So No-Tail takes the top bounty, but Always Want to Fly is going to be able to secure the bottom 2. And then leave their triangle 1 sat there waiting. I mean, sometimes you leave it for mid laners so they could refill their bowl, but I suppose not going to bother getting one this game. Obviously, you don't really need one as a Kunkka. Not like you're a super high mana dependent based hero. Oh, Thompson going for a life drain, maybe just trying to halt the aggression coming out there from Iceberger. Sucks. It did also rotate around. Iceberg still just a little bit of a little bit of XP short of actually getting his level 6 online. And maybe he could have made a move on to Topson, but Sox is just constantly hanging around these trees, waiting for the moment. Now he's going to start diving the tier 2 tower with the shackles and the life drain on top. Nothing that Iceberg could do to survive. Oh, he actually manages to pop the Fairy Fire with the stick, but even still, barely enough damage there from the side of OG. Brings him down. And that's a lovely kill going into the hands of Topson there. Just further separating the gap between these two mid laners. Oh, looks like down bot though. Seb ends up dropping to always want to fly in V-Tune. So at least this bot lane for the side of Na'Vi is going pretty well. V-Tune pretty much got free farm. Just happily plodding his way along. Grabbing a little bit of an extra kill every now and then as well. Just slightly ahead of the GPM of mid one. Very, very similar though. Only 200 gold difference. Not exactly like it's a big insurmountable amount at the moment. Well, looks like Topson want to go there for the move onto Iceberg, but it was just a little bit too far on the wrong side of the tier 1 tower there for Sox to try and go for an aggressive shackle. Plus Iceberg is like max HP. 1260 at 6 minutes 50 in. That's definitely not an easy kill by any degree. So maybe they won't bother going for it. The pause comes out from Iceberg. I assume it's probably got something to do with lag. There's always lag problems when it comes to online tournaments. It is the sad thing about this whole coronavirus situation. Nothing could be lands, but you know, I was saying yesterday actually, but you know, now there's that vaccine, we could start seeing the return of lands. And you get all that hype of the live audience just roaring in the background of everything. It looks like even General's struggling a bit with his own lag. He ends up disconnecting. Unless he had already dropped, like on comms or something, his net just crapped out perhaps. Nobody re-kicks now. So what sort of build is V-Tune going for? He's got that armlet queued up as his first item. As you do as a life stealer, it's a very crucial item to have. Really increases your effectiveness as a hero. And it's a very nice power spike timing as well. As soon as you get that armlet online, you can try and make a move around the map and either get a kill or force down a tier 1 tower at the same time. Topson is actually looking for a charge onto Iceberg, pops the boat out, so he's going to try and get the kill, brings it back in with the X-Bar, but in comes N0tail trying to heal him up. Even General rotates around here, it's still going to be enough damage to bring Topson down, despite the heals coming out from N0tail, trying to keep his mid laner alive. It's just not enough. Nice rotations coming out there from Na'Vi, netting that kill. But you know, it's space. Not that mid one really needs space, he's happily farming up here anyway. But he is now alone, as mid one did end up going to N0tail ended up going towards the mid to help out Topson, but didn't actually find the save. Sucks. He's actually going to start leading up onto Iceberg on his own. There's no one else nearby, so unfortunately it's completely wasted. And he doesn't get anything out of it. Needs that Aether lens. Oh, and Seb actually ends up dying again at the bot, miles behind the tier 1 tower. Looks like he's trying to cut the wave, but just gets punished once more. V-Tune's actually having a really nice time down bot now. He's going to have this armlet at a very nice timing. And we'll see what sort of aggressive plays they're going to end up trying to make with it. But again, just loads of heroes constantly at this midsection. The side of Na'Vi try and repel Topson as much as they can to keep their tier 1 tower alive. But it's really hard to try and stop the damage coming out from a Pug. He doesn't even have to get that committed. He can just sort of sit around this area, chucks out the Nether Blast, so it just clips the tower. And he's always relatively safe. Even General's come around the side as well. But obviously he's spotted by this ward, so Topson's just completely aware that there's this many heroes in the mid trying to punish him. This is all the space in the world for mid one. He actually already popped his God Strength. Wants to try and do a bit of damage to the tier 1 tower. Interesting God Strength use there. Yeah, interesting. No stacks in the jungle made though for mid one at the moment. N0tail obviously been a little bit preoccupied by jumping towards different lanes trying to help people out. So unfortunately mid one's not going to have that little extra bit of gold bonus for him eventually. In the mid, Topson go with the life drain onto Iceberg. The boat comes in with the X mark as well. The follow-up LSA from Roger. N0tail's trying to heal him up once again. The shackles controlling up Roger, but even still, the Soul Rip comes in from Always Want to Fly, brings down Topson, and now Sarkis is in a world of hurt himself. Connected by the LSA. One final hit. Actually, the zombies clear up that kill as well. A double kill for Always Want to Fly. He'll take that. Easy gold, easy gold. So again, another successful movement there from Na'Vi. Taking down Topson once again. Off to a nice start. Well, I mean, not for him. Off to a bad start, I should say. But he's just going to keep coming back to this mid. He needs to keep coming back here until at least that tier 1 tower is gone. That's like his main objective as a Pugner in this later phase. You tend to like to try and get this tower down before the 10-minute mark. So that's where like you want to have like your sweet spot area. But obviously it's still alive for now. But Topson, he actually gets the haste rune at the bot. Going to try and make a rotation towards the 5. He goes for an immediate TP out, so he will manage to survive. Meanwhile, General actually just gets a solo kill there onto Noto up top. Dropping his arena. Easy peasy snag there for him. So just everything going quite nicely for Na'Vi so far this game. Especially the fact that Vichun is still at top of that net worth. 400 gold in front of mid 1. And he doesn't even have any farming mechanic. There's nothing to actually ramp up his speed. And as I say, he's got that armlet now online, so he's going to start making smooth. Trying to force that tier 1 tower in the mid. But in the mid, actually, Topson nearly gets slow, but he's going to try and turn around onto the Iceberg, but there's no vision, so the Soul Drain does actually break. Even the Snake's committed that by Saxa. That's all just going to get completely farmed up with the side of Na'Vi. That's just free gold for him. Doesn't have any sort of great effect at that moment. So it just feels like OG just can't find any break in this game. Just every single time they try to make something happen, just nice rotations coming out from Na'Vi, and they respond in just the right way with just the right amount of force to always make sure they're coming out on head, but also giving plenty of space for Vichun to just keep his farm game going. He's got Sanj queued up and then a Skadi as his next item. Quite an interesting item to queue up this early on in the game. We'll see what it's end up going to be. Rogers charging forwards, wants to try and get the grab now onto Saxa. We'll spot him into the trees. Vichun nearly gets close up there for an open wounds, but the Hex comes out. The relocate coming up from behind though. Noto trying to get the gank there onto Vichun, but he just pops his rage and TP's out. Always want to fly, does end up getting caught out. But you know, it is the position 5. So it's not the worst loss in the world. Na'Vi at least TP's back. Vichun TP's back to the mid, so he's able to start soaking up that farm. But down bottom, Iceberg and Roger actually finds the kill into No-Tail as the relocate brings him back down here. So that movement ended up actually working quite nicely there for Na'Vi, I suppose. Obviously a little bit of gold disparity between the Undying kill and the Io kill, but yeah, it's very negligible. It doesn't really matter that much. But at last, we finally see mid 1 at that top of that CS net worth chart, which is what it should be like. You know, a Sven should never be getting out-farmed by a lifestealer with 0 farming mechanics or 0 farming items on him. That's just really rough to see. Especially seems how it's not like Vichun's scores even that massive. Sure, he had a pretty decent lane, 1, 0, and 2. But, you know, it's not like he's got 4 kills as well as all these CSs to really try and make his farm that great. But we're down bomb. Moves coming out there from the boat. He does connect onto mid 1, as well as the walls trapping in Roger, trying to keep everyone else back, but it doesn't matter. They really gets committed from General, finds the kill into mid 1. Now they're going to focus onto the IO, as well as Sarks again. The Gunda Blade to the face. The No-Tail drops as well. Another 3 deaths on the side of OG. Not finding anything yet again. Roger nearly dropped, but just enough to survive that engagement.
Burns, doesn't it?
And just like, yeah, just Topson couldn't even get involved. He was just sort of sat in the mid. Did he get the tower? Or was the tower already dead? I guess the tower must have already died. Because I don't see no tower kills there. So we'll see what Topson's building up. He's actually got a Meteor Ham already. Quite an interesting item build. He's maybe hoping that there's a Crepify slows enough to try and net a easy stun there with the hammer. Or maybe he wants to try and combo it up with Saxa perhaps? Not too sure. Let's see how he uses him. And he just goes to the standard combo, but now he's going to get X marked up. No-Tail though, going with a very aggressive relocate. He's all alone. What? Why is he all alone? Oh my days. Oh, he gets his hammer off, but he still gets killed mid-flight. That's a very awkward move. And now Topson's going to end up getting caught out himself. Once again, General ends up disconnecting from lag issues. Even still, that was a very, very awkward relocate there coming out from No-Tail. Was he He must have been with Mid One, and Mid One was like, no, 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 no. Don't you dare take me into that fight. So, N0tail just had to go, oh, okay. Cancels the tether. Ends up dying either way. Now Thompson, he's going to be able to survive. Goes to the blue hand, trying to make him his face. Actually, just about manages to connect with Iceberg. Plus the Ravage comes out. But obviously, Vichu with that raid, able to carry on jumping forward. Thompson does end up dropping down. And now the rest of OG have come in to fight. But it's not going to be enough to actually help out at all. Sox ends up dropping. And now Seb, 1 versus 5. He's trying on the way. A lot of the damage mitigation with the anchor smash, but it's not going to be enough. He still ends up dropping as well. 3 deaths again on the side of OG. Just Na'Vi finding infinite space in all of these fights. Just hardly dropping anyone at all. Just playing it so well so far this game. I think the only 2 kills that they found okay, one's on towards 1-5. I thought they're both on towards 5. But the other one was actually on Iceberg in that mid, of course. Maybe Steelers is looking real rough aside of Na'Vi right now. OG, they're trying to want to come over to secure these boundaries. That sets up for a 2-man arena. They're trapped in place. N0tail gets deleted. Now Thompson stunned up in place. Mid One's trying to assist by throwing some storm hammers from afar. It's not going to be enough. But Thompson just able to survive. Turns around, gets the kill onto Roger instead. And he's actually able to survive this. And now Vichu and Iceberg need to get out of there. The Decrepify slowing down the Kunkka. He's not going to be able to escape from this. The Meteor Hammer actually ends up getting cancelled out from Thompson. It looked like it would have finally connected. But even still there with the last Never Blast. Catches off that kill. So finally an engagement goes well there for OG. Mid One's not done yet though. He's actually charging forwards to try and net this kill onto Always Want to Fly as well. And it needs one more hit. Ooh, the Jukes. Oh, but the vision there just gets spotted there by Thompson. That was so close there for Always Want to Fly. He nearly escaped that one. That'd have been a Juke of the century. But yeah, at least finally OG come out on top in engagement. Finally they get something. It still cost the life of N0tail once again, but, you know, that's a sacrifice they're perfectly willing to accept at this point. But they also managed to get all 4 bounty runes. All 4 bounties end up dropping. Where? Okay, down bottom. Roger and General actually found an easy grab there onto Soxa. Farm in a very aggressive position. Miles out in the middle of nowhere. Ooh, looks like Vichu though. He's going to try and find the opening now onto Thompson, slowing him up with the open wounds. Is there going to be enough support for the rest of Na'Vi to get here in time to abuse this? General's coming in there. He's got his Blink Dagger ready and available. But it's not fast enough. N0tail comes in there to lend a little bit of assistance, and that's going to be enough to deter Na'Vi away from pressuring even further. So what's Mid One really building up? He's going for that BKB. Wants to make sure he doesn't just keep getting held down by the plethora of disables on the side of Na'Vi right now. Just pretty much everyone has some sort of ability that really hinders the maneuverability of this Sven. Obviously the Mars with the Arena and the Spear, the Lina with the LSA, X-Mark Torrent from the Kunkka, the Zombies from Always Want to Fly, as well as the Open Wounds. Just loads of things that can really slow down the Sven and, you know, just stop him from getting loads of kills really. Thompson though, he ends up actually getting grabbed while he's farming up. The boat connects. Easy to say, and the Laguna Bay gets committed. Oh, we're just about to get his Decrepify off in time, but he targets the wrong hero. Iceberg actually pops that BKB to stop the life train coming out. Maybe if he targeted Roger, he could have potentially survived, but, you know, that is the 10-second BKB usage there from Iceberg, so maybe Thompson doesn't mind too much. It looks like OG, they can try and force down this tier 2 tower, but the wards there actually spots the movements coming out from General, but even so he jumps forward, gets the arena connection onto Mid One. He's not going to be able to get it. The Ravage though from Seb connects onto 3, he can try and jump forwards, make enough space, and even with the relocate there from N0tail, he saves Mid One's life. Seb ends up dropping, and N0tail will die as well. But, you know, at least Mid One didn't die. Oh, N0tail, oh, he tried to get the tether off there, but quick X-Mark. Oh, and even the jump forward from General. He's going to find the grab of Soxa. Soxa actually ends up juking out the spear there and goes for an immediate TP out. Just quick thinking there by Soxa, realising there was no disables left. But once again, another lovely move there by Na'Vi. Keeping their tier 2 tower alive before that 20-minute mark. Netting a couple of kills, as well as clearing up all of the Serpent wards from the Shadow Shaman as well. Just an extra bit of gold going towards everyone. But, you know, Mid One, he's going to have his BKB online for that next coming engagement. So, maybe OG could be able to try and use that and actually take a favourable fight for once. Meanwhile, Vichu just clears up tier 1 tower. Seb not able to get the deny. Even the Skadi for Vichu as well is already going to be online very soon. Only 400 gold away from getting up that first ultimate orb. And then it's easy to get the point boost. But meanwhile up top though, General, he's found another grab onto Thompson. Once again, this poor Pugler's going to end up getting caught out. The boat actually ends up missing, but I don't think it really matters. Featuring gets the last hit there with the Infest Bomb. Once again, another death onto this Pugner. Now 3, 5, and 2. Just way too many deaths, hindering his effectiveness so much. Pugner is sort of a snowballing kind of hero, so if you can hinder him quite a lot, he sort of has to swap out to more of a pseudo support and just try and go for like a healing sort of build rather than maybe an aggressive style. We'll see if there is a swap out he's going to do, but Iceberg, Na'Vi either way, they're just going to move into this Roche pit, clear it up. There's no response coming out from the side of OG to stop this from happening. Free Aegis now going towards Vichu. Meanwhile, the other 3 members on the side of OG are all just hanging around this bot lane. Maybe everyone's finally going to snatch up this tier 2 tower, but it is just after the 20-minute mark. So they're not going to be able to get that outpost still. Just a little bit unfortunate there for OG. I think that Soda Crest finished up for General as well. Yeah, there's a Soda Crest up, so that's just going to be increased potency for this Lifestealer now. More armor, more attack speed. You can really start shredding through people now. But OG though, they're trying to pressure onto this tier 3 tower, but Midron ends up getting caught out by the X and the torrent there from Iceberg, but even still, the Relocate comes out, keeps him alive. But meanwhile though, it means that everyone else on the side of Na'Vi's left. That leaves Vichu left all alone up top. He will end up dying down. General and Roger provide lift assist. They do get a kill onto Saxa first. Even Noto ends up dying when the Relocate ends. Vichu, he goes for the Infest, trying to escape to the creep, just about barely survives. He's trying to run away as quick as it possibly can. But OG, they're not letting up, they're hunting him down, but Vichu's already regen up to full HP. There's no way they can find this kill. Come on, Vichu. He's actually just still hanging around. He just runs straight past. He's like, cancel the TP or fight. Either one. And now Vichu's going to go immediately onto Seb. There's the Decrepify from Thompson trying to lay it out. General, he wants to go for the spear, but there's no trees. He would have just saved him, so wise choice to cancel that ability. But now General's going to get gone on mid one, trying to lay into him. He's taking hardly damage. The Bulwark just providing so much tank. The Tombstone gets focused up. It will fall down. General nearly getting low. Oh, just able to survive the Sorin there. Always on fire, keeps him alive. He's just going to run into everyone on the side of OG. Say, just kill me. Leave General alone. Lovely sacrifice there by Osman Fly. Keeps the position 3 alive. Obviously cost his life in return, but it's a sacrifice he'll gladly take. But OG's not done yet. They're going to charge forwards. Nearly managed to get the grab their potential into Vichu, but Quick Fingers manages to hit that Rage and avoids the Hex that would have been coming out there from Saxa. Relocate coming out from No-Tail. Going to try and nab this grab onto Roger here. Stormhammer does connect, but there's the Scepter trying to make enough space. The jump forward from General goes to the stun connection onto No-Tail. Takes tons of damage from this Neverward though. It's doing quite a lot of work in the background. Mid one's getting pretty low. Force uses BKB. Godstone got up in 5 seconds, but even so, he gets taken out there with the Relocate. It looks like Sebs is going to be left all alone, so he will probably fall from this. The Iceberg tried to find the extra grab there onto Saxa. Couldn't quite find him, hiding in these trees. Finally, Seb does die. And Saxa decided. Now he will go for the TP out. Oh, they pop the smoke and immediately gets cancelled. Oh no, they think someone's here. Oh, that's the biggest mindfuck ever. They're like, what? What happened? And now they will go for another smoke as well. That's such a troll move. Obviously, that wasn't actually intentional there by Saxa, but even still, just perfect position at the right time. And the jump will forward, connect onto Thompson, spear him into the trees. And that's going to be easy kill onto the Pugner. Another death there for Thompson. Midwine even ends up using his Godstrike to try and take down this tier 2 tower at the top lane. Takes up the Ancients, then going to work back onto the tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, Na'Vi just taking down the tier 2 tower of their own. And a little bit of a higher priority one of the mid tower. Ooh. Iceberg ends up trying to come in and stop this push, but Jansen just gets whacked down by Mid-One's way too much damage at this point. The God Strength from the Chrysalis doing just too much. Mid-One now getting focused up by Vichun. He needs to just go for a TP out, and he will not go for it with the relocate that was there again from N0tail. So this is going to be a death for the IO once again. Ooh, Mid-One actually just TP to the bot rather than going back to base. And that's an easy kill onto the IO. Pos 5 life, eh? Always sacrificing yourself for the greater good. Or you say greater good, but just the greedier people. Now 8 deaths on N0tail. Pretty much all of his deaths have just been relocate deaths as well. That's what it feels like anyway. But Daedalus now in life Mid-One. His damage is now going to go through the roof. But is there going to be another grab onto Thompson? LSA'd into the Guna Blade. The Pugna gets deleted pretty quickly. Roger tried to find the grab there onto Saksha as well, but couldn't quite get into range. Seb's actually going to show himself with this bot lane, farming up the creeps. And the rest of Na'Vi just will make a beeline straight for him. Jump for his Iceberg, commits the arena down as well. Spears Seb into the side, and he will end up dropping down eventually. But you know, while all this has been going on, Saksha actually ends up sneaking both the top bounty runes, and Mid-One takes both the bottom ones as well. He will eventually. So it's actually 4 bounty runes going for OG right there. I think that's actually a bit more favourable for the side of OG. It's a lot of extra gold flowed into the team. So I think Seb's happy with that. Well, not happy, but content. I think content's the word. That looks like Saksha though stayed around this top lane for a little bit too long. He gets brought down. Vichun's having an absolute monster of a game right now. He's got that Skadi online, and he's pretty much got enough money to finish up this Basher as well if he wants to buy it now. And he will immediately just pop that. So, you think he might be going for the Abyssal Blade? Is his next item to really increase his lockdown onto the Sven, perhaps? Or maybe he might finish up this Sunj into a Heaven's Halberd? We'll have to wait and see what Vichun's decision is. Okay, so he's just going to go for the AC. Very versatile item. Ooh, the LSA destroying the trees there reveals the fact the Mid-One was TPing behind the tier 2 tower. And that's going to be enough to force Na'Vi to make them change their mind. But Roger, Charge Voids gets down that ward, but then just running straight into Seb. Seb's positioned very aggressively. Torrent, ooh, nearly connects there from Iceberg. Just about runs out, but jump forward from General. Gets the spear onto Mid-One in the back of the trees. The BKB does get popped before he gets stunned in place. Now going to pop his God Strength, doing the most damage as he can, but even still it's very hard. Everyone else is just dodging in and out. The Tombstone gets deleted. It looks like Iceberg just gets completely abandoned from the rest of Na'Vi. And they all fall back. A smoke pop as well, straight away. But it felt like that popped from a very long range. Always would fly, try to go for the TP out. Oh, just gets deleted. And 2 swipes from Mid-One. Brutal amount of damage from a Daedalus and God Strength. And relocate down towards the bot. They just want to pressure into this tier 3 as much as possible. The God Strength will run out before they can actually do any damage to the tower. But even still, you know, this is free damage. There's no one from the side of Na'Vi over here to stop this from happening, so, you know, it takes the tower down to half HP. Perfectly fine move. Roshan potentially up in about 17 seconds now. We'll see if OG get lucky and it spawns like super quick, or if it's going to be a little bit of a longer one and give Na'Vi the potential to try and move into a better position and stop the take coming up from OG. And it's a minute 50. It's not super long, but still pretty longish. Not the quickest respawn in the world. The net worth difference between Mid-One and Vichun now has grown quite a large chunk. Just about 4,500 extra for Mid-One right now. And that's about the sort of area that a Sven likes to be over the other cores. You know, to really just the farming speed that the Great Cleave gives you. Especially up against the lifesteal I was saying before that has no farming mechanics on him. No items to actually ramp up that speed whatsoever. So it's basically an entire extra item in the hands of Mid-One right now. But mass TPs coming out from Na'Vi. Want to try and defend this tier 3 tower. Mid-One's trying to do tons of damage to Iceberg. His BKB actually ends up running out, so we need to be a little bit careful. Now we'll pop it. Turn around, do so much damage to Roger, but the Relay Cash he ends up finishing. And now it's just Thompson left all alone. He does drop. That was a very weird movement. I think Na'Vi wants to try and punish that relocate, but Didn't actually end up finding it. But even still, they got the kill onto Thompson once again. But I don't think Thompson really cares at this point. His game has just been, like, savage so much. He probably just feels like a 3.5 right now. Not quite a full core, but not quite a support either. You know, he's trying to do what he can in these fights. Quite difficult to try and go for a decent duration of the life drain as well, with the amount of disables that Na'Vi actually has. Roche up in 12 seconds. There is a curry here from Always Want to Fly. So Na'Vi are going to know instantly as soon as that's up. OG obviously don't have any way of actually scanning out just yet, so they're not going to be too aware. So Roche has now spawned. VTune, he's probably just spotted it out, right? Yeah, so Na'Vi realizes what's going on. VTune's actually going to run straight in there all on his own and start working onto this Roche right now. Obviously, there's no vision from the side of OG up in that area, as I was saying, so they're not going to have a clue this is going on. Instead, they're going to start applying pressure onto this tier 3 at the bot instead. Roche down to about half HP, so they've not got a ton of time to work with, and they're actually a little bit scared, not realising where the position of the Radiant side is. The Roche does full. Aegis into the hands of VTune. Cheese for Iceberg. Iceberg leading the charge once again. Would that BKB activated? Mid-1 trying to do a lot of the damage. The jump forward there from the General into the backlines. Manages. Always will try to get caught out with the Ravage though. He comes out, collects onto everyone, stuns them all in place. No-Tail still ends up getting deleted despite the heals coming out from the life drain from Thompson. Now Mid-1 needs to be a little bit careful. He hasn't popped his BKB yet. He's still got that to work with. Jumps forward onto VTune, trying to lock him down. There's no range, but now he will try and stand his ground. Mid-1 just able to do slightly more damage than what VTune's able to lifesteal up. So he's slightly within the wall, but the General jumps forward once again, gets the arena and stuns up Thompson, brings him down. But Mid-1 with the cleaves, kills VTune and Roger in the back lines as well. Now going to try and focus on the General, so definitely hard kill to get. Ultra kill so far for Mid-1 as well. Trying to focus up onto VTune, but his God Strength's run out. His damage is heavily mitigated from this point on. We'll see if they're able to get any more kills. They're going to try and focus down the melee barracks. They are going to try and take down the ranged one as well, and then maybe just bail out. Actually, they're all 5 heroes, and there's still another minute without the Lina. But all the other tier 2s are left standing, so they can't just try and work onto the next set of barracks and try and get a massive advantage over Na'Vi just yet. Instead, they will just push in the mid-wave, try and work onto this tier 2 tower. Except, he's very aggressively trying to cut this wave, and now he's just left all alone. He's going to try and stand his ground. The rest of OG coming in here, try and let him help it out. No-Tail just about to get in range for the tether. The heal set back up. They all focus down the tombstone, make sure that gets dropped. The boat comes in, but immediately gets purged away by the Kraken shield from Seb. Doesn't do anything. The track from Suxer gets another grab there. Onto Wizard 5, but the Torrent Storm coming out from Iceberg. It's making a lot of space, stunning everyone up, but it's not enough to save the Undying's life. And now Iceberg needs to get out there. He's popped his BKB. It's about to run out though, slowed up by the Gush and another Stormhammer jump. The arena from General catches on 3. Mid-1 though pops his BKB, just running through it. Needs one more hit, just manages to get Iceberg before he makes it back to the safety of the well. Meanwhile, Suxer just controlling up General. Not enough damage follow-up as Mid-1's constantly getting controlled up now. The life drain from Thompson making him stand his ground, but Suxer just gets blown up by the Laguna Blade. General gets slapped in the back by Mid-1, gets the spear off to try and make a bit of space. And he does get brought down there by Thompson. So just non-stop aggression coming there from OG, just their foot's all the way down on that pedal, accelerating more and more. There's still quite a large chunk of this God Strength left, and Mid-1 just, who cares about backdoor protection, just melts that tower down. There's still a large amount of time before the 2 tanky cores of the side of Na'Vi are actually back up. There's going to be loads of room for OG to do tons of damage at the base of Na'Vi. VTune's trying to stand his ground and stop this push from happening, but it's too much. The jump forwards from Seb as well, with the Ravage, they completely keep VTune stunned up. Nothing he could do. He ends up dropping as well. It's just the 2 supports left to defend their base. There's no way this mid lane of barracks is going to be left standing. At least the one saving Grace for Na'Vi is that they got the T2 up top. But actually, no, OG don't care. There's 7 water back online. They're going to start working on the tier 4s. There's constant pressure on the supports as well, clearing up the tombstone as well. And OG just want to end this game now. Iceberg has respawned, but what's he going to be able to do? There's not much he can to actually stop this push happening. The Torrent Storm comes out. It will maybe force OG back for a couple of seconds, but as soon as that Torrent Storm runs out, OG is going to turn around and head back on in. Even there's control there from Suxer, making sure Roger can't get out of there. Mid-1 just ready, waiting for the Lina to drop down. Ooh, the Glimmer Cape just barely keeping it alive. Not that it really matters. The tower's still getting beaten down. Seb just constantly jumping out, in and out of the pool, distracting the rest of Na'Vi, and GG well played is called. Na'Vi realised they're beating this game. It was so close. They were really far ahead for a huge amount this game. They were just completely crushing OG left, right, and centre. Every single time OG tried to make a move, Na'Vi responded perfectly, was winning engagement after engagement every single time. But somehow OG just still come out on top. I'm not quite sure what happened. I can't remember what the big turning point of this game was to just suddenly allow OG to become a huge dominant force. I mean, this game ends, and there's still only a 10,000 gold lead for OG. I don't say that only, but normally when the team actually destroys the Ancient and finishes the game, it's normally like, I don't know, like 20,000 gold lead, because all the buildings that they just destroyed gives everyone extra gold. But even with all that extra gold, it was still only 10k. So probably before that, it was very, very even in terms of actual potency on these teams. OG just seemed to play a little bit better. They found the correct grabs. Iceberg just maybe led the charge a little bit too many times before the rest of his team was there. Maybe not anticipating the amount of damage that the Sven did. Just right-clicking away with that Daedalus hurt so damn much when you got those crits off. But even though all these guys on the side of Na'Vi were super tanky, just not tanky enough. Just not tanky enough. Not by a long shot. But even still, well played there by OG, taking this series 2-0. I'd say very clean. The first game was a very dominant showing by them. But Na'Vi, they definitely, I wouldn't say they threw this game, but I felt they should have won it. I felt that they probably should have. They had the lead for such a long time. They're playing really well. I think they just slipped up a couple of times, and yeah. That's Dota though. A couple of mistakes is all it takes for the other team to capitalise on, and you just throw everything away. And that's how it goes. But yeah, once again, well played by OG. Winning 2-0. Well-deserved victory for them. So they're going to move forwards in the lower brackets, knocking Na'Vi out. And so OG are going to be playing Team Liquid tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm probably not going to be able to cast that as I'll be at work. But I will be casting the game after that, which will be VP versus Viking for the upper brackets at 7 o'clock once again. So if you guys have enjoyed this, please think about tuning in for that one. Or, if you're watching through YouTube, I'll be posting a video up of that tomorrow as well. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed, please think about liking and subscribing for future. And I'll see you for the next series. So I'll see you later. Thanks for watching that video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it and the content I was able to provide. I am just starting out, so if you did like it and you want to support me in the future, then please think about following and subscribing to me on Twitch, Twitter and YouTube. I post on Twitter what events I plan on covering in the future and when I'm actually able to do some casts. I don't have the most free time in the world, unfortunately, so I can't provide constant content, but I can guarantee you every single time that I do cast, I'm giving it my all because I have a lot of passion for it, and hopefully that does come off. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you stick around for the next video. So hopefully I see you guys there. Cheers.